What's up, guys? WWE Fan Talk here, bringing you guys another video review from Ringside Collectibles. Today, you can go to Ringside Collectibles, use discount code Tanner, TANNER, all caps, to save 10% at checkout. Today, we're going to be taking a closer look at the AEW Series 4 Unmatched line with the first time in the line, CM Punk. Taking a closer look at the first figure in the set, I had to review the CM Punk first. I believe this is why all of you clicked on the video review in the first place. We have the first ever AEW Unrivaled CM Punk, and there's so many different opinions about this figure, and I'm going to give you mine right now. I assume that's why you clicked on this video review. If you want to get other people's opinions, go and click on theirs, but this video is based on my opinion and my opinion alone. So let's take a closer look at this CM Punk. As you can see, he does come in his first ever ring-worn gear that he wore in AEW, his first match against Darby Allin, his tights, which everybody had mixed feelings about. I particularly liked this gear just because it was different. It was cool to see CM Punk back, but not only back, but to see him in something a little bit more fresh, a little bit different. And I think bringing back these tights was cool, and he's worn these a couple times since. But it does have the Chicago colors on there with the black and the nice, I guess, baby blue, I guess you could say, with the red stars. So very cool CM Punk. Let's take a closer look at this head scan. I think this looks pretty close to CM Punk. I do think that it's better than the Mattel ones. That's just my personal opinion. We're going to take a closer look at one of the Mattel figures that I do have in hand. We do get the tattoos, and one thing I give to the the Unmatched line is that we get these tattoos right here. And they put them in, but they make them a little bit different so that they can just have that design in, as well as that G.I. Joe look right there. So very cool. And just all the colors throughout his tattoos are perfect. You got the spider web and all that. We even got sculpted tape for his arms right here. Like, we never got that with Mattel or any of the other CM Punk figures, but we got it for this one. I heard some people saying that they're mad that they came Sammy Guevara legs, and I felt the same way at first, but getting it in hand, I feel like it's proportionately correct, and I don't feel like there's any need to change it. That's just my personal opinion. I do think it looks great. He does come with a cloth jacket, a very nice quality cloth jacket. The cuffs are even sewn, and they're on their own separate piece. And then it says Larry right there. And then the back, I assume that's his dog, Larry. So there's Larry. Comes with a cool jacket. And then he does come with an AEW microphone if you want to do your own pipe bomb. And then he does come with an extra set of hands right here. These are like the open hands. But he does come with some mic hands, which is awesome to see. So very cool CM Punk. I have no words for this. I mean, immediately when I opened the package and I saw the CM Punk, I went ballistic just because we haven't had a CM Punk in like 10 years or so. So let's take a closer look at one of the Mattel CM Punks and compare them side by side. Here's a Mattel CM Punk. As you can see, the height difference is not too terribly off. I feel like the Unmatched line is a little bit taller. Maybe that's accurate. Maybe it's not. I can see some people doing some switch-ups between these figures, like maybe switching parts to make him have his trunks. But as you can see, some of the tattoos were not included with this CM Punk in the Mattel line versus the Unmatched line. I even think the skin tone looks a lot better. But overall, this looks a lot more like CM Punk to me than this one right over here. And also, since he is the current AEW World Champion, you can throw that belt right over his shoulder. There is the All Elite Wrestling World Champion. Next up, we have Cowboy Hangman Adam Page right here in his non-ring attire. This is his promo attire, I guess you could say. Comes with his jeans, his cowboy belt buckle, and then we do have his nice-looking boots right there, cowboy boots, looking very cool. A lot of nice detail. We get that cowboy button-up. We got that nice smiling head scan. I think that does look like his head, just to be honest. I think that looks just like a smile. I think they nailed it. I think it's the same hair that we've seen before. Cool pattern on the back. Nice button up. And then we do get some beer and see-through glasses. These are some beer cans right here. Maybe this is Budweiser or something. Maybe this is Miller Lite. And maybe this is Bud Light. Something like that. Just going based off of the colors. Who knows? But there's some beer right there. And then we do get some see-through glasses if you want to put some apple juice or or whatever you want to put in there to make it look like alcohol. But we do have Hangman Adam Page, and I think a lot of people are going to be happy about this one. For me, this is awkwardly one of the figures I was looking forward to the most. I just am a huge Hangman Adam Page fan, and I really, really, really want more Hangman Adam Page figures. And even though this isn't a ring attire, this is really cool to have, and it's something unique. And I think it's something everybody should pick up to have because, you know, we're getting stuff like the Cody and now the Hangman and these promo gears. And it comes in handy when you're doing pig fetting, you know what I mean? Or different posing or repaints or whatever you want to do. It does come in handy. For instance, if you want to take him and you want to put somebody else on this torso or on this lower torso, you can. And it would be a different figure if you wanted it to be. For now, we do have Hangman Adam Page looking freaking fantastic. I can't wait to rank him at the end of the video review. Next up, we have promo attire Cody Rhodes. Right here, this is one of the last unrivaled Cody Rhodes that we are getting, or unmatched, I guess you could say. And this one does come in this suited body. I've heard some opinions on this figure in the wrestling figure community. And to be honest, I kind of agree with them. Because we're getting this weird trench coat look for Cody, and yes, maybe he has worn it, and it does look really cool, and they got the shoes right and the pants right, but why the trench coat? I mean, I'm sure you could take it off if you wanted to, like this, but then it's not like a suit, it's like a weird vest look. I mean, you can take it off, but it don't make sense to have a buttoned up suit like that, especially because it doesn't even look like a suit, it looks like a vest. So you can do what you want with it. I think it looks cool, and I'm going to leave it as is because it is a suited body Cody Rhodes, and it is accurate. And it does come with the AEW microphone. Nothing much different with this figure. We do get a nice little detail over here at the neck tap peeking out. Cool that they added that. And then we do get a screaming head scan, which does come on the figure. And then we get a pair of fisted hands. But that's it for this Cody Rhodes. I got to say, maybe my favorite detail on this figure is his shoes. He does wear these, but pretty cool that we have this because I'm sure Mattel isn't going to release something unique like this for Cody, so we're going to get to use this for our Mattel figures if we want. So there we have Cody Rhodes in his suited body. Next up, we have the Luminaries collection, Chris Jericho, and I'm still yet to decide whether I want to take this out of the package or not to show. But I do think that this package looks so sick, especially with the blues and the Luminary logo. We got that young Chris Jericho look right there. And taking a closer look at the figure inside of the packaging, it looks great. I'm not the biggest fan of this era of Chris Jericho. I do think it looks fantastic, and for all the Chris Jericho fans, I do think it's something that you guys should pick up. But one thing that does bother me about this, just looking at it from the package, is that these tassels bleed on over sculpt-wise onto the leg. Like, why didn't they do what they did with, like, the Young Bucks and add the real tassels? That would make more sense, right? Or am I crazy? I don't know. But there's the Luminaries Chris Jericho. There's Chris on the back with his signature. The rest of the figures in the packaging. Very cool. Leave it in the comments down below if you want to see a separate video review on this Luminaries collection, Chris Jericho. And second to last, we have Jade, the first ever Jade in the AEW line. This looks like a pretty awesome figure. She is the most dominant female in wrestling right now, or not wrestling, in AEW right now, I guess. I'm not sure how I feel about this body because she is very muscular, it looks like in real life, and I think they captured it with the upper torso. I'm not sure about the lower trunks and down. To me, I'm not putting this figure down. It looks like granny legs, especially with the butt back here. It looks like, I don't know, it just doesn't look like Jade to me. But other than that, I do think that this is a very nice looking figure, especially with this head scan. I think it looks just like Jade. And then we do get some good design throughout her attire with the cool boots and her logo. And then the awesome open back knee pads. One thing that does bother me about this figure is that the legs are out. Like, they're very wide, like almost like bow-legged. Like, you can't, they're very limited with articulation is what I'm trying to say. So it kind of reminds me of the Miro figure, how you can't really move the legs out or forward that well. I feel like this is very limited with its articulation. But that's totally fine. I think that this is a good figure to pose on the shelf if you really want to. And then she also does come with some extra fists. And last and certainly not least, we do have MJF right here. And I have some mixed feelings about this figure. This is one of the only figures we are getting in the ring attire form in this set. And I do think it looks like a really accurate representation of MJF, body-wise and gear-wise, boot-wise, all that. I'm not sure about the face, though. I heard some people saying how this doesn't look like MJF. I could see what they mean. It looks a little cartoony, but I think if you look hard enough, you use your imagination, I think it does look like MJF. I'm just grateful that we're getting a new head sculpt for MJF. He does come with an AEW microphone, as well as his diamond ring. And you can replace this, and I don't think we got to, or were able to before with the other figures, but we do get an extra right hand, so you don't need the diamond hand if you don't want to. You could put a taped hand if you want to. But he does have his tattoo detail. I'm not sure if it's supposed to go up into his shoulder, or if it just stops right there. I'm not quite sure. He does come with his scarf as well. I'm not sure if we've gotten this on an MJF before, have we? Have we gotten a scarf with MJF? If it has, it's probably been plastic, I assume. But there's MJF with his... He looks a little bit more tan. Did he get like a spray tan this day? This looks a little darker than his previous figures to me. But I think this is probably my favorite MJF ring attire, so I do think this figure gets some more points. I'm not sure why we're getting so many MJFs. I think there's so many other figures we could get, like more Hangmans. Like, we've only gotten, like, what, 2 Hangmans, and we've gotten probably, like, 4 or 5 MJFs already. I think that's totally insane. But he does come with his scarf right here, his extra hands, as well as an AEW microphone. We've gotten 3 AEW microphones in this set, just pointing that out. I think that's freaking sick. Alrighty guys, that is it for this video review. Before we leave, I'm going to rank these figures from least to greatest. So in my personal opinion, coming in last place, and this isn't because I don't like the particular wrestler, it's just based off the figure quality and things I like about it. Coming in last place, I'm going to give it to the Jade. Just because of this leg articulation, I don't like the gap between her legs. That bothers me, and it's going to make her weird standing. And I think it looks good from the distance, but up close you can just see certain things that just don't make her look quite right. I don't know what it is. Like, I'm going to call these grandma legs, because these do not look like her legs. They look like a grandma's legs to me. I don't know. So there's Jade. And then coming second to last, I'm going to give it to the MJF. I think this figure is good. I think that there's nothing quite wrong with it at all. I'm just not the biggest fan of MJF, and I don't think that his figures are really going to ever get that more interesting. I do think that MJF figures are pretty bland. I think this one gets some more points just because it has the white gear. But overall, I do like this MJF. It just didn't quite place that high on the list. Then in third place, I'm going to give it to the Cody. And the reason why I'm giving it to the Cody is just because I don't feel like this figure hit its full potential. I think if we got a regular coat, it would have made more sense. But instead, we're getting this trench coat look for Cody. And I think it's pretty odd that we're doing it. It does look like he's wearing a black suit on camera. I don't know why. But it is actually a navy blue. I am grateful that we're getting a suited body Cody. So I'm not going to complain about it. It does look accurate. Who gives a crap? You could even take it off if you want. So very cool. Third place, giving it to Cody. In second place, are we going to have it as CM Punk? Or are we going to have it as Hangman Adam Page? Who will it be? I'm going to give second place to Hangman Adam Page and first place to CM Punk. Duh. Now, the reason why I gave Hangman Adam Page second place is just because, come on, it's CM Punk, right? Everybody's going to be picking up this figure in the set, whether it's the tights or the trunks. I would like to get my hands on the one that does have the trunks. That would be cool. Again, this does not come with the AEW Championship, but if you have an extra AEW title, I would just throw it on your CM Punk and display it, because look at how badass that looks. Overall, these two are my favorite figures in the set. There's something about this Hangman Adam Page that I love, and there's something about CM Punk that's just CM Punk that I love. So I recommend picking up every single one of these figures in the set and using discount code Tanner, TANNER, all caps, to save 10% at checkout. Thanks for watching, guys. WWE Fan Talk Show, out.